Hello, just another video from my Tesla Model 3. I won't be talking about the car today because there's nothing really to talk about. If you want to see about the car, there's so many places to go to. Everybody's pouring out stuff. But I sort of thought I'd talk about something, well, a lot more important really, is racism, because racism is throughout the world. Now, I suppose I've got no right to talk about it because I'm a white guy, so I'm looking at it from the outside, you could say. But I haven't really come here to talk about racism. I'm talking about poorism, povertyism, sexism. There's people in the world who are born to die, born to starve. And that baby that starves to death, what has it done wrong? What has it done wrong? It's an innocent child has died from starvation just because it's born in the wrong place. That same child could have been born to a member of the royal family. But no, it's been born in the wrong place at the wrong time where there's no system, no money, so it's born to die. And anyone talks about there's all men are born equal, absolute drivel, absolute tripe. Nobody's born equal. If you're in that position where, well, God forbid, anyone is born in that position where there's no hope, and what can you do? There's no way out. People don't get it. I don't get it because I'm in a privileged position as well. Not nearly as privileged as a lot of people, but relatively privileged because I'm not hungry, as you can see. I'm not short of a quid or two. But what if you're in a position where you can't get away? You can't get out of that rut. You can't get out of that. Maybe it's just not hunger, but maybe it's a threat of violence. And there's people that want to cross the English Channel to come to this country. And there's people standing on the cliffs. There's one guy. So there with his binoculars, goggle-eyed fellow, you know who I'm talking about, hoping these poor people sink and drown. But they're people. Like he's a person. I'm a person. It's not a black, white, yellow, green, whatever. We're just people. And why we think we have got the right to live and they've got no right to live. They've got no right to live out their lives without being threatened or without being hungered, without being hungry. Why is that when we're all people? As I say, it's not a race thing. It's a poor thing. And if you're rich and famous, you get super treatment. You get first in the line. You get to, this is just trivial stuff, but you get to go to Wimbledon tennis. You get to do lots of things that other people can't do because not only you're rich, you're famous. Or you're rich and famous and you look good, even better. Is the world a fair place? Of course it's not. But the people who say the world is a fair place are the people who are in the good position. And the people who are in the good position are the people who've got the voice. Do you think poor people have got a voice? Do you think starving people have got a voice? They've got no voice. They've got nothing. And they will never have anything. And there's people at the top who want to stop the people who are striving to get something, getting something. And that's the way the world is run these days. It's always been like that. It's not just these days. Will it ever change? Of course it won't, because the people who've got the say are the people at the top. So we got a guy who's in charge of Amazon. He's got £80 billion. £80 billion. And this poor person who needs a sandwich so he can live, needs something to eat, but can't get something to eat. But the guy in charge of Amazon wants to fly in a rocket because there's nothing expensive enough that he can't buy, so he wants to fly to Mars. It's not right, is it? It's not right. And when the Martians look down with their telescope and say, look at that country there, there's people starving. and there's people who want to fly to our planet because they're so rich they don't know what to do with the money. Isn't that dreadful? Isn't that dreadful? Yeah, equality is no such thing as equality. There's levels of inequality. When you're right at the bottom or right at the top, it's the flip of the coin. People right at the top think they're the bee's knees because look at me, look what I've done. Well, I tell you, you've done. Some, mostly, is people who have inherited money. There's some person who, some orange person, who thinks he's the greatest because he's inherited £1 billion. And he thinks he's absolutely wonderful. Look at me, how rich and famous I am. Because he was born to a rich father. Very handy. Very handy to be a member of the royal family. And to live a full and successful life. And well, not so bad if you do your duty. You've got the royal family, the Queen waves her hand or opens her and she's getting a bit bloody old, but she's still game. So she's giving it a go at doing her job. There's other members of the royal family saying, oh, we don't want to have pictures taken. We don't want to be famous. Unless we do, of course. Because sometimes we do want to be famous, and sometimes we do want to appear, and we do want our books to be written, and we do want our face to be shown, but only when it suits us. Sort of a 9-to-5 royal family, which that's never been. So, well, as I say, flip of the coin, where do you land, where you're born, it's all it is. Even in religion, people say, oh, there's only one God, all that. Well, no, there's lots of gods, and you know where the God comes from. You know where your religious perception comes from. That's where you're born as well. That's where you're born. Your God depends on where you were born and what you were taught. So, it's all, I wish in the world now, the world is a small place. It's internet and everyone sees each other's going on all over the world. The world is a tiny, tiny place. But a lot of people say globalism's a terrible thing. Well, I think globalism's fine because all people should be the same. All people should have a good chance. I mean, my life is worth nothing compared with a rich and famous person's life. Is that how it should be? Yeah, no equality. And I say the race thing goes on and on and on. And it's a fair point. But there's another fair point of poverty. And to live in poverty. Bankers getting billions and people going to food banks because they can't afford to feed themselves. That's equality for you. Anyway, that's my moan for the day. I've done that's about a reasonable time of a bit of moaning. So lovely day today, nice and hot and sunny. And I should go now and I should try thinking something more pleasant. But it's really a bit difficult. See you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Scaled up testing at a local level, combined with contact tracing